Hey all, James from TeaDB here, bringing you a Inbetweenisode. So today I am going to be drinking another cake that I bought a couple years ago, something that always intended to bring onto the show, but I just haven't had the opportunity. So first of all, hope you all are staying safe and following the public health recommendations. We are probably not going to be, we're still not filming TeaDB, obviously. The last episode that we've aired together was April Fool's, so just trying to amp up these in-between-isode content. Gonna just keep it pretty focused on tea. I know people don't tune in here to learn about the coronavirus situation, so just trying to entertain you all, hopefully create some interesting content. So today, I am bringing on a old-ish, semi-oldish factory tea, the 2004 Mengku Rongshi Qizibing, but on the wrapper they actually misspell it. The Z is an A, so it's Qizibing. If I remember right, I should have had the wrapper next to me, but yeah, and it's a tea that was a pretty darn good find in my opinion. My tea friend Benoit and kind of myself found this tea from just a random Taiwan vendor that wasn't even specialized in Pu'erh and was selling this tea a couple of years ago, so it was 14 years old at the time, for just 760 NTD, so that's just about $25. So, and for a 400 gram cake, that puts it at, what is that, just a tidy bit over 6 cents per gram, so really inexpensive for the aged tea, and I actually really like this tea. So gonna bring this on. It's also kind of interesting in the sense that it fits a little differently. First, I wanted to talk a little bit about just this whole situation. Kind of reminds me, so much of our tea drinking experience for Westerners is solo and alone. So this sort of isolation stuff, I hope people have been able to just continue to enjoy their tea. I suspect a lot of people might be drinking tea more than they're used to. Now more people are working from home and have access to their regular tea stash more often. So let me know what you guys have been drinking. I'd be curious to hear. I got reminded of sort of that article I wrote probably 4 years ago on tea hermits and people in the West and some of the limitations. Well, now is our time to shine, as it is now the age where everyone is forced into tea hermits, to be tea hermits. So I've been drinking a lot alone, as I always do, because I always work from home. But here we have steep number 2, and I'm going to heat up this water and make another steep. Take a smell once that hot water hits it. So it's got a little more like fruitiness. One characteristic that I noticed throughout these factory teas is that they're really good at having this sort of resinous quality to it, and that's a quality you don't necessarily get from these boutique teas, and it's something that I've actually come to really enjoy. It's a resinous pungency, and it sort of blends in a little bit to what Denny described as that like gasoline sheng pu'er flavor. A little more fruity than you would expect from some of those other teas. So as far as the storage goes, this tea probably, while it's Taiwan stored, I'd say it fits a notch over towards the wetter form of Taiwan compared to something like the 2010 8582 or the 2006 8582. 2006 where I'd say it was more moderate, and 2010 where I'd say it was more on the drier end of that spectrum. But I do tend to like teas that are a little wetter, so you kind of get a little bit of that almost cocoa chocolate nature to this. It just tastes a little darker than those teas in comparison. Part of that could just be the base material. A little difficult to parse that out. To some extent, I don't care too much, as the tea's character is what it is at this point. Still a pretty good punchiness to it. Some of these, when it comes to teas beyond Menghai and Xiaoguan, and this is sort of a complaint about Changtai in particular, is that some of the times the teas can be a little weak. That is not the case with this tea. I think this tea has plenty of strength to it. Yeah, let's see. Steep number 3 here. Moving a little away from that fruitiness, more into woody flavors or woody aroma notes. That's good. Let that cool down for just a second. So shout outs to Benoit for helping to find this tea. Unfortunately, it's something that is no longer available. It was a tea that the vendor only had a certain amount of stock, so Benoit and I ended up just buying the rest of it just because it was such a good deal in our opinion. So, yeah. Cheers. This brew is a little more pungent. It has a little bit of sourness at first, and then it sort of follows up with that cocoa woodiness to it. Quite nice actually. My experience is it sort of brews out. It sort of moves in towards sweeter flavors. I guess that's sort of a consistent theme for a lot of these more punchy sheng pu'ers in general, but this one as well just sort of moves towards those sweeter notes. You sort of get that same sort of profile, but it's a little gentler, a little softer. So this tea, I'd say, still has some room to continue to improve. It just is still strong, and that's something that I really enjoy about factory teas, particularly these earlier ones, is that you can really see it is not... okay, I'm not going to use a double negative. It is fairly clear why these teas improve in the sense that they can get a little more mellow and drinkable with age. They have a quality that's just very strong and inherently powerful to them. So sort of bringing in that woodier notes to the front. So woody, fruity combo. Yeah, and I'd say this tea stands out a little bit too because a lot of the factory teas I do own are Xiaoguan and Dai. I don't own a lot of Mengku teas. In fact, this might be certainly the only one I own in any significant quantity. So I tend to not buy a ton of northern tea, but this tea is good. It's solid. And I think it's a little bit above the par of a little bit younger northern teas that I've tried. Have not had a huge sampling, if I'm being 100% honest. I know that Matt of Matt Chaw's has like some teas, but I haven't specifically sought them out. But this one stands out. It's a little different than those teas, so I like to drink it. It's not too similar to any of the recipes like 8582 or 7542. And it has this fruity quality that's a little different from Xiaoguan. So yeah, gonna give this tea a 6.5 rating. So that's pretty darn solid. I'd say it's as far as these sort of tea advanced metrics go, as far as like the value over the average tea that I own, I'd say it has a positive value, so it's a little above average. It's a mild positive, it's not huge. And I would say that the value over replacement tea, or what I could buy now at this $1 per gram amount, is extremely good. Really top of the line, just because I mean, this tea was 14 years old when I bought it, 16 years old now, and it was 5-6 cents a gram. I mean, that's just really difficult to beat, even for young tea. So really enjoy this tea. Hope you all are staying safe. Let me know how you like this episode if you enjoyed it, and let me know what else you would like to see. I ordered a few teas, hoping to bring them on from MXT on Taobao and from another Chinese-based vendor out there. So hoping to show some teas that are also available as well. I know people don't want to just see all these inaccessible teas, so hoping to drink some other stuff too. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see